That wildfire smoke reducing visibility ahead of EAA AirVenture in Oshkosh. Some pilots delaying their arrivals. They're waiting for those conditions to improve, and you can see why. Airport conditions are under instrument-only rules today. Organizers say pilots are adjusting their flight plans around the haze, much like they would for a large storm system.
Pilots will do their flight planning onto what their minimums are, what they feel comfortable with, and then plan accordingly before making their flight here to AirVenture.
EAA says they're going to wait to see if the smoke does affect attendance. Overall, they're urging visitors to make their own health decisions if the smoke or haze lingers during the event. It opens officially on Monday.